What's up again? This is Mo from the Ricans here.
Ivan, how you guys doing?
So, for today, it's going to be one of those shows, bro. I got nothing. Nothing, all right? And that's what we're going to go on. So, until then, let's see. Hit it.
Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick. Nerdorican's the name of the show. Dive into the worlds you already know. From the big screens to the comic store. Super stories and so much more.
Hey, what's up, my Ricans? It's Easy Going Mo here.
It's Ivan.
And as always, today we got nothing, but we're going to find something and we're going to talk about it, all right? During this week, I think I told you about this. I got fascinated, and maybe you are out there watching this and going crazy with this as well. I am, and I'm talking about the AI novelas. I mean, oh boy, I'm like, yo, I can't put them down.
No?
I can't put them down because I look for the giant robot, like the Tempest.
Right.
I find the fantasy where it has to deal with demons, werewolf, and vampires. I mean, I watched like before even coming here, but it was more of like a wife's revenge, and I was like, damn, that's like, it was harsh.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for her, getting even. But these things are addictive.
Well, I'm more into the because I work a lot, so I'll have my earpiece on, and I'll tune into stuff like that, but it's more for the story, not so much the visual, because I need my creative juices flowing from time to time. And some of these stories created by AI, fascinating.
Yeah,
They're fascinating.
Jinx.
And it kills me how one word can create such a story.
When I first got involved with the AI stuff, it was like you with the audio books. But then the ones that I saw that were audio, a lot of them dealt with Star Trek and DC characters. Like the first one was like, what if Superman entered the Star Trek universe?
Okay.
And it was fascinating. I mean, this audio book, and I'm listening to this, and I'm like, damn, this is good storytelling. You know, how Superman could all of a sudden change the landscape of the Star Trek universe to as far to the point where it almost became a war with the Romulans. Hell, the Borg even became involved. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And of course, Superman doing his thing as being a hero, but knowing that, his gateway back to his universe is closed, but not closed forever. But he knows that no matter what happens, it doesn't matter what universe I'm in, I'm Superman. And I'm here to help. Yeah. And I'm not here to hurt. And these other factions are out to hurt. So I'm drawing the line in the sand, and literally drew the line in the sand saying, this far, no further. It's not going to happen. And I'm like, oh. And I'm loving it because the storytelling is so compelling, but so good. And you're just sitting there, and I'm like, I'm listening, and I'm holding my drink. I'm like, damn, hold on, I got to drink my drink. But it's so good. I mean, it went from Superman in the Star Trek universe, then it was the Battlestar Galactica in the Star Trek universe.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, what?
Interesting.
But you know what it is that the storytelling, it makes sense. It's like logically you can sit there and go and see it happening and say, yeah, I could see that. And then the dialogue that follows, I'm like, it's like I'm waiting for it to be up on the screen in an episode. Cue in the music, da, 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 and then all of a sudden just bring in the characters. They come in, like for the one with the Battlestar Galactica, the of course humans created the Cylons. The Cylons were meant to serve this. Then the Cylons rebelled, and then the Cylons tried to eradicate all human life. Now they come into the Star Trek world. Okay, and then they find an android who's there to protect and help them in this situation.
Really?
Data was what they feared, but Data, in his own stylistic, even throughout the show, when the episode when they were trying to prove that he was sentient, they went through that whole thing.
Yeah.
Same thing here, and when they had conversations with them, his logic was, wow, okay. They really started to understand and started to let their guards down because according to, as far as what they're concerned, they see Data, they see a Cylon. They see a Cylon bent on erasing humanity. So I'm like, oh, I love me a good story. My hairs are like, oh damn, this is too good. Yeah. I couldn't put it down. It was like, and it was like I'm at work and it's like I'm at my lunch break. It's like nobody's looking. Keep clicking it on, having it in my ear and playing with it.
Yeah.
And just listening to it. What if, for instance, what if Superman came into the Invincible universe?
Yeah,
he has to deal with the Viltrumites.
The Viltrumites, yes. I've seen this. I've seen this online where it's a big what if.
But this one was an audio one.
Yeah.
It was before the video one. The video one you're talking about, I know about.
Yeah.
The pod landed on Viltrum, but he was still the most powerful out of all of them because of who he is as a Kryptonian.
I mean, could he be more powerful?
Well, in the video or the AI video that they created story, yes. I mean, Thrag was no match for him. He was like right up there, but not a match for him.
Right.
Hell, I love the scene with what's his name again? With the Iron Claw, what's his name?
Conquest?
Conquest, yes. He froze his hand and then it broke apart. He's like, oh, he didn't know what to do with himself on that. But in the audio book, it was different because then Superman did his thing and he was protecting people of the planet Earth, helping, Invincible deal with the Viltrum invasion. Okay. But he's just still one man. But as powerful as he was, he made it clear no matter what's going to happen, you guys are not going to take over this planet. I'm like, dude, just like the odds are stacked against you. But that's the true heart of a hero.
But again, it can bring up multiple scenarios of storytelling.
Oh God, it did, and it was happening in here as I'm listening to it. It's like, well, what about? And then you could go to and like, oh man,
yeah.
It's like almost it's like if I took off my headphone piece, it's like you see my brain smoking from just thinking about all the good storytelling that could follow from that. And then I became addicted. Then it became the videos, and then Tempest, the last battle robot. And I was like, wow.
I mean, that's how I am when I'm cleaning up my place. I'll throw on a movie and I'm listening to the movie and I'm like, if they would have went this route, it would have been so much better.
Oh yes.
And my kids, they make fun of me because I could watch any specific movie from my childhood, no matter where it's at. I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll watch the movie. And I'm like, this is peak performance. This is how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm listening to a movie, I'm like, I would have did this scene better, or this would have been better. But again, it brings out the creative juices that you have, and I like to call it untapped potential.
True, you kind of do. Yeah, I can see where you're going with that, and relate to it because sometimes you think like when we were kids, you always have that argument with others and say, Superman, who's better, Superman or Batman? Oh, Superman this, and this, Batman this, and that. Or whether if it's Aquaman or the Flash or whatever. And there's always that, but that's the creative juices because you know your character well inside and out, that you're willing to defend who that character is against another, whether it's hero or villain.
Exactly. And that was always my issue with Lewis. Because, he's a big Superman fan. I get it.
He's a Star Wars fan too, as I am Star Trek.
And I'm a big Batman fan. But here's my dilemma with Superman. The man was supposed to be godly. Right? Godly. And then all of a sudden, there's one guy, one monster beats him.
Doomsday.
Using brute strength to a man that was near God mode.
I know what you're talking about. So, Doomsday.
when that happened, I called him up and I laughed at him. I said, "What happened to your boy, Mr. Invincible? He just got beat up by DC's version of the Hulk."
But that's the funny thing. When they did the background story about that, even the DC executive said we have to give him a challenge because he's the most powerful man on the planet. And what do we do? So they created the Doomsday character. But then after the Battle of New York, and both were pretty much done and out, they had to then it became so good. So one of the most popular series in DC will always be the Battle of Doomsday. And I've seen cinematic, television, even animation versions of it. Now, if I had to choose like the best ones, I would say as far as what comes close to what they did as far as the comic book is concerned, Superman Life and Death.
Yes.
That one, because then when they came back, and then they brought the other three, the Eradicator,
Superman, Man of Steel, and the Eradicator.
Steel, Superboy, and the Eradicator. Yes. So the Pretenders. So that was done.
Oh, and the Cyborg.
And the Cyborg, yeah, Cyborg Superman, which was Hank Henshaw from another dimension. I actually pulled out of a dying shuttle.
Yes.
He said Superman will save us, and it didn't. But Darkseid wound up saving him for whatever nefarious purposes. And then there was let me see which one. Then there was the adaptation that was done. It was an adaptation, but it was nicely done. Superman and Lois, 5th season, when they introduced their version of Doomsday. And it wound up being that it was Bizarro Superman, that they hit him with some sort of formula so he can come back to life because they wind up killing him.
Yes.
And then every time they gave him this formula, right, the formula, what it did was every time he died, he'd come back stronger, come back stronger.
You can't defeat him the same way.
No, Lex Luthor was hitting him with everything he could to make him into this Hulk-like creature, and then set him loose and says, when you're done with him, bring me his heart. And then came that whole battle between him and Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. And it was as close to what
comic book adaptation as possible.
Exactly. And it was so good. It was so good. Even when round 2 happened to end the season, it was still incredibly done, especially with his sons, both now powers come into play, fighting to correct, or not to correct, to save their father, you know. And that I was like, that's so good, so good. Cinematic, you know, Batman v Superman could have been better if they had taken the elements from the animated and put that in there. Then I would have said, yeah, I forgive it. It's like World's Finest meeting Superman and Doomsday battle. That would have been perfect. But that's what these AIs do. They just they get you hyped up and thinking.
Yeah, AI has, if used properly, can put whatever you got up here on paper, as I like to say. Mm-hmm. But you got to know how to use it.
Oh yeah,
you got to know how to use it. But to me, old school way of doing things never fails. Never fails. It really doesn't.
Pen to paper, pencil to paper. Put that thought down. Write it. It may not be perfect in grammar or whatever, but at the end, that's what the tools are for, to correct your grammar.
And the reason why I give it a try is because you got guys like me that don't have, let's say, the fundings to jot down an idea and animate it. You go to AI and be like, okay, this is my story, animate it for me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, kind of call it cheap labor in a sense. It's a hit and miss, though.
This is true.
And, you know, if you started small, you can do a lot of things with it. And I'm afraid that's where the comic book industry and a lot of the movie industry is going to, where they're going to rely too much on AI to take over. And
well, they made an exception to that rule now. Yes, to use the technology, because, again, it's still a tool. At the end of the day, it's still a tool. It's the person behind the tool, whether it's creating the tool or the person using the tool, how they tend to use it. But Hollywood definitely reached an agreement with SAG-AFTRA and said that anything created totally out of AI will not be recognized in the Academy.
Yeah.
So, but it's
Well,
fair and unfair.
But they did the same thing with animated movies. They were never a part of the categories of the award ceremony, and that all started changing. They were like, wait a minute, this is a genre we haven't hit that is making money.
Wasn't it 2 years ago? And this is from the world's oldest franchise that there is, that because of CGI created creatures and what have you, that Godzilla -1 got an Academy Award for visual effects. That goes to show that how stunning it was. And when I saw that movie, dude, it was one of those things that for the first time ever, as a kid, you watch a Godzilla film, you just go, oh, humans are talking. Yeah, monsters, they're fighting. Da, da, da. Oh, the humans are talking again. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Not this one. The human story had me locked, had me feeling.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah, perspective. And then that's what the AI does. When done properly, it gives you that perspective, and you sit there and you're just like, you're emotionally drained, and yet you didn't cry, you didn't,
Well, it brings that, there's a rumor going around with Disney. Okay? Which I don't think it's a bad move, in my opinion. And I'm going to explain why. Rumor mills going around is that Disney's reverting back to hand-drawn animation.
Old school.
Okay? Because they're saying everybody's dipping into
the AI world.
I think it's a smart move. And I'm going to tell you why. One, you're bringing back more people to an art form that is not that it's dying out, but it's not being used as much. Second, it proves a point, because right now they're re-releasing again for the 40th anniversary Transformers the movie, the animated movie. Now,
heard about that.
I've been around for the 10 year, the 20 year, the 30 year. Now they're coming out with the 40th year. I'll watch it. I have it on DVD. I have it on Blu-ray. I have it, you name it, I probably got it. And for the era that animation was drawn out from, it's still top tier.
You can't change that. It's just...
You can never. And again, I say it again. What's not broken should not be fixed.
Yeah,
that's my way of saying it. And that proves it. 40 years, people still would go to a theater to watch a movie that came out in what, 85, 86? Everything was hand drawn, voice acting. And I look at,
and not that in my head. It's when you're saying this, all I'm seeing in my head is like, boom da, boom da, boom da, boom da, Transformers.
Exactly. It brings the kid out in me.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, it definitely brings the kid out of me, and
it does. And it's like I want to compare it to Star Wars, the originals.
Yeah. But with that thought, I'm going to do it in the voice of Grimlock when he says, "Me, Grimlock, we're going to go to commercial break and be back with more Ricans."
Come, let's play. LDM Radio. Come, let's play. Fun is what we crave.
Let's go.
You're listening to New York City's LDM Radio. Another long stretch of continuous music.
Back into time. Flashback.
Make my move, gonna live my dream, gonna live my
New York City's LDM Radio.
The best radio station in the world. Is right here, right now.
And we're back
Yep.
with more than meets the eye.
And a whole lot of nothing.
And a whole lot of nothing. That's right. A whole lot of nothing. Yo, the one article I definitely want to talk about that came to my view. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but
What's that?
Warhammer 40,000. The anime is soon to be released by Amazon Studios.
I've
and
heard about
being
that.
produced by the executive producer himself, Henry Cavill. Dude, I'm like, oh look, my hairs are standing up again. I'm so excited. And I've not played the game myself personally, but I've watched all the videos that Amazon had done, because they had done a platform one time where they had all these different types of short animated features.
Yeah.
And one of them was for Warhammer 40,000. I was like, dude, what? Even I wanted to start collecting them and start painting them. I actually found a place in the village where they have it. They have a store in the village that has nothing but Warhammer 40,000. You can get the collectibles and start painting, whatever, all there. And I'm like, I stood at the store one time, I'm like, I know now how Henry Cavill must have felt like being at the main store when they had him there, bro. But and it was, and I'm glad that they had this, because there was a time, and I think you mentioned it to me at one point, that it was not gonna happen. It was close to like axing the whole thing.
Last I heard about it, when it was first brought up, somebody wrote a script about it.
Mm-hmm.
Studios weren't grabbing it,
Mm-hmm.
which tends to happen in Hollywood a lot. And it's like, these are things like Dungeons and Dragons. There is a big following to this.
Huge.
Okay,
Wow.
Warhammer is it's not at the level, but is at the level of a Magic the Gathering type thing, a Dungeons and Dragons type thing.
It's there. Yeah, it is.
And why not, use the momentum of that game to possibly either produce a series that holds true to the game, or take your time and make the movie correctly.
This I agree with, because, and I went deeper into it to read about what's going on and I think I'm going to say Amazon messed up when I say that they made Cavill the executive behind it, because the people behind Warhammer 40,000 love the idea, because like I said, they brought Cavill down to their studio, their place, and he was all over the place, like being 9 years old and looking at all of this again. So that's his jam, as he calls it. That's his jam. I remember there was an interview, and I'm trying to remember when they were doing for The Witcher. There were two of the actors on there. One of the hosts had asked, what do you do when you're not here? What do you do? What's your thing? Whatever. And he says, that's simple. Warhammer 40,000. That's my jam.
Yeah.
That's my thing. And then across from him is the other actor that played the lute and sang and was with them. He's also a Warhammer. He found out right then and there.
I seen that one.
And he's like sitting there. I said, wait.
What level are you? He goes, I'm
level. He said, what group?
What group? He goes, I'm Necrons. He goes, I'm Custodians.
It's cool. And he's like, cool.
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 Yeah.
That was already nerd right there.
But
like,
then you look at the girls that were sitting
like
between them. They're like, they start laughing. I'm like, see, that's what I'm saying. Like the perspective of these guys are children. They didn't grow up.
No. Let me tell you something. I wear this T-shirt. I drink this mug. I drink out of this mug. I talk about comics. I talk about movies. I talk about all of that stuff. I got games. I got toys or whatever. But I pay my bills like anybody else. I work for a living just like anybody else. But the love I have for fandom in itself, Star Trek, Star Wars, comic books, all of that. That's my love. That's my passion. But when you look at it this way, and I'll say this to the ladies, and look at it this way: if you see two guys sitting about blah 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 talking about this thing, blah blah blah, don't whatever. Oh, they're two boys. No, we're two men talking about the things that we love. But we're not gambling. We're not drinking. We're not getting into rough activity. We're being boys, being men, talking about something that we love since our early childhood.
I'll be honest with you. When I go to the cons and I see something, that little kid on my shoulder is like, hey, what are you doing? Stop looking. We have adult money. There's no one to tell us no. Buy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buy it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, why not? Credit card.
I'm like that dude. It's like same here. It's like that dude. And I look at that item and I look at it and says, I must possess this item.
Hey,
But you already
listen,
have one. And this is the third series. It's mine.
I went, was it 2 years ago, to New York Comic Con.
Oh. Ooh.
Okay. Now, Lewis was there with me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was a wrong
I've
one.
never had an original Optimus Prime.
And there was one there.
There was one there. The guy wanted, I think it was like 3, 4. I don't even remember the price. And, Lewis was like, buy it. You've always wanted it. Buy it. I'm like, I don't want to spend that type of money. So I did my thing. I brought him down to 150. I say, here you go, 150. Complete open box. The little kid in me was so happy.
Of course.
But here's the thing. I turn around. There's a guy behind us, brand new in the box. When I say brand new, it was still in the box. The same figure I bought. And it was an appraisal booth.
Ooh.
I said, how much is that one? He goes, 10,000. I said, why? He goes, because the box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I looked at the box. I'm like, it looks like it was just put on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And it was encased. And I was like, so how much is an open box? He goes, maybe half, maybe a quarter of it. So I was like, so I showed it to him. He was like, hey, you got a good cup of change in there. I'm like, he was like, you want to sell it? I'm like, no. I said, no. He goes, how much did you get it for? I said, 150. He was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, well, there is a way. You just met him. I said, the other day I just bought all 4 Dinobots. He was like, you got all the Dinobots? I said, yeah, all complete. He goes, you know what you're doing. I'm not saying to him, I say, I ain't know. It's not what I know. It's the kid in me that knows. Because if it was me, the old man in me would be like, nah, you don't need that. The little kid in me was like, you got adult money. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
And it's there. My daughter, she has tried to touch it. No.
It's got a
No. She be like,
it's got a laser guided system for
everything.
when you go a little too woo. That's it.
New. And this is, call me sexist, but this is one of the reasons I'm glad I didn't have a boy.
Oh,
because I would have had to buy double.
Oh yeah.
And and not to say I won't have a boy, but
still.
But still, like.
See, I have like 2 crates, and one of them's going to my godson because I've always given him collectibles. When he graduated from college,
right?
Because he's going to be like an artist. He's going into sports representation,
okay,
and that sort of that. So
right.
I had in the box certificate number of the Mark 85, and that's the one that actually has like some magnets if you wanted to, and you could actually put it on and wear it.
Oh,
the Mark
nice.
85 one, I'm like, So I gave him that, and he flipped it over there. Godfather, you kidding me? He's like, and boom, and his mother says that I make sure that those are collectibles. You put those away. Those are not to play or whatever. Collectible. He's got a collectibles of all sorts. When I find a collectible, I give it to him. I have another box. I have another one just for my grandson when it comes to certain comic books or certain items. I put in there. Like my collectibles are of the starships because I'm a big starship collector. I love the ships. I even have like the one from, they now call Fan Home, but before that they were named something else and they went out of business. But I got the Battlestar Galactica, the 94 movie.
Oh, nice.
The 94 show, the Galactica, sitting there. And I'm just sitting there and I'm not looking at it. Even though it's from 94, but in the back of my mind, I'm still hearing.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the joy it brings you, the happiness.
Exactly. It takes you back. It takes you to a simpler time. I mean, my humble beginnings started in a store, not even a name store, just a little variety store that a man that looked like from the movie Up.
Okay.
Short, the same outfit, the hair, everything. I swear the guys, like they either saw this man and they made it into an animated feature called Up, but that was him. He was so kind to me because I would come in. I don't know. I was hiding from some bullies and stuff. I stood in the store, and he saw that. He got me behind some boxes or whatever.
Right.
But there were boxes of comic books.
Yeah.
Right? When I look at his store about his stuff, I was like, you wouldn't think comic books. And then I opened the box. I'm like, oh my God, the Hulk. Da 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 da. I'm pulling them out, and I'm like, and he says, do you want any of these? And he would give it to me at practically nothing. Practically, if I got like my lunch allowance for $5, I would leave with a box full of comic books. All right, and I know they were like 75 cents, a quarter, 50 cents, but the thing is, he gave me a box which would hold like, I don't know, 50 of them. Okay. And then the treasure starts of going through, reading, going through. There's the gem. This is before we had any plastics or anything to put them in. So you just put it back in the box, make sure everything's fine, close it up, whatever. Of course, eventually, I through divorce and an angry ex-wife, they're lost. But that's okay. That happens.
Hey, listen.
It happens. That's what life is. But if I had those now, ooh.
Listen, I still have mines from when I was a kid till now. If I tell you, I went back to I have a storage unit. It was supposed to be only for comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Half of that's full of comics. But then I still have my baseball cards from when I was a kid, my football cards, the first series of Marvel cards until 94. Okay. Ooh. I have the first set of DC cards. Okay. Now, in there is a box that my youngest has that was given to her the first time she went to the Bronx Comic Con.
Oh, okay.
This kid doesn't like comic books. She doesn't like it. But one of them, as I screwed, I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this one. So I looked it up on my phone. I'm like, how the hell did she get this for free? And mind you, I just skimmed through it, and the whole box is for her. So I said, oh, Daddy's going to take this one. She said, no.
No.
It was mine. I'm like, but you don't need it. She was like, I saw you on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn.
That was your first mistake.
That was the first mistake. So I told the guy, I was like, yo, I can't, how much do you want for the box? He said, no, it's for her. I was like, I said, I just bought some boxes, and you couldn't give me one for free? He was like, you're not a little kid. I was like, wow. So I'm over here spending $400-$500 in boxes. She gets one for free.
Yep.
And that one book that I find just paid for all mines that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
And I was mad. The little kid in me was mad.
Uh-huh.
But the adult me was like, you know what? Yeah. It's all right. Listen,
it's all right.
It's good. Because at the end of the day, all my sports memorabilia, collectibles, comics, it's all going to her anyway.
Exactly.
So it's like, I can't take them to the grave. I thought maybe I'll take one. Two.
Maybe one or two. Put it right in there with me.
That's
it's not coming out.
But, even, past girlfriends and stuff like that, they were like, why you got so many? Now you're talking to a guy for his birthday would go to Midtown and drop $600 like it was water. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing that. And they were like, we're still going to dinner, we're still going out. Don't worry about it.
No difference than them going to a spa day.
Yeah,
no difference to any of that. And I'm not trying to knock any of you ladies down, but the thing is, you got to look at the equivalent.
That was our nails.
What you would, to what you would enjoy. This is what we enjoy. The simplicity of it is the joy of the book itself, what it represented, the time that you sat there and actually read that story. You probably read that story 100 times, but it's the joy of reading it, even if it is that 100th time. It doesn't change anything. Even if you get even, and they say, well, why don't you do the digital comic? Not the same. I mean, I could collect this and put it away and then go through this, but it won't still have that same feeling as when I take the page and I flip it over. Then you have those cheesy Marvel ads when you had the dude with the X-ray and you had that picture, and then the bazooka bubblegum commercials, the follow. That's the nostalgia and the joy of being a comic book nerd.
And things nowadays, there's no surprise.
No.
Like, I remember as a kid when you would go to the local comic store, there was always that one comic that had a special surprise, whether it was a trading card
or
a poster.
Mm-hmm.
And what kills me nowadays is a lot of grocery stores used to have their little racks full of comic books.
They're far and few now.
No, nobody wants to. Now everybody's trying to grab them and carry them. Walmart's, putting them up.
Mm-hmm.
A short time ago, Target had some up. And I'm like, if y'all would have had this, y'all would have never lost profits.
Nope.
And now, with society now, they're trying to get rid of the digital, the DVDs and the Blu-rays. And people like us, I'm sorry to say, put a stop to it.
Yeah, because they're the key to stuff. I mean, you know what? Let's take a commercial break, and then we'll come back to those DVDs, those Blu-rays, and the reasons why we love them. So I'm going to go and try and earn some money for the next half. See you in a bit.
Hi, I am Charles Laloma, and I am the owner of the LDM Network, and I hope that you're enjoying this episode. But if you want to see past episodes of this show or any other of our shows, go to the ldmnetwork.net. We have large contents of different type of shows, and we even have podcasts. So again, check them out at ldmnetwork.net. So without further ado, let's get back to this episode.
And we're going to continue with
Nothing.
So going back to what we were talking about before, DVDs and Blu-rays. Now, I worked for Blockbuster for a time period. That was the best job ever. I tell you the truth, I don't care what it paid me, but I would trade my job to go back to that anytime.
Because he was working in the back room.
Yeah.
That's right. I was collecting all the video, putting that stuff on the
Yeah. The one you had to go behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain it was. But all the recommendations, I actually learned what chick flicks were about. Okay, I was like, what is this? Oh, this is called a chick flick. I'm like, The Notebook? Because they used to give us 5 free a week. So we always get the stuff that's about to come out.
Right.
We can get stuff that's already in there that's already out. So in case of anything, I always stuck to action, horror, and sci-fi. Then I went into the whole chick flick romance and stuff because I see like a lot of ladies. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get to know the ladies. And then I made a recommendation to a dude, and I said, here, and I gave him the Notebook. I said, what's gonna have her sit next to me? What's this? Just do me a favor. Do not, under any circumstance, speak. Let the movie sway her over. Be a good guy. Comfort her in her tears, and the rest shall happen.
I guess.
I know, but for me, it wasn't that Blockbuster. It was a small mom and pop place off 167th Street, I think by the corner of Tybalt, and it had all sorts of stuff, and I was picking out all sorts of B films. I actually, when Ultraman was such a big thing, right, but then they had the knockoffs, and then I got the knockoff one called Spectraman. Spectraman. There you go. That was the only bit I remember from it, and that was it. But it was an Ultraman knockoff.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And then I was watching all the 1990 series of Godzilla. 1990s Toho Godzilla was a lot of what's coming into the MonsterVerse now, including the one that's coming out, Godzilla X-Con Supernova, where they're reintroducing Space Godzilla. And I saw a picture of it. I was like, oh.
But you know what's crazy?
Uh-huh.
These are just remakes.
There are remakes.
No, but it's literally, these are all remakes, because when I was growing up, Channel 11, Fridays was Movie Friday.
For me, Channel 7,
And
Monster Week.
Monster Week.
Monster Week.
But remember, back in the day, in the whole month of October, every Friday on Channel 11 was a horror film.
Yep. Chiller Theater.
Chiller Theater. Yeah.
6-finger hand.
Yeah. You don't see them doing that no more.
No. See, we could sit there and you could call us old, but I'm gonna tell you, it was nostalgic because right after that, you had a whole host of different hosts. My favorite, of course, was Elvira. Oh my God.
To this day,
sorry.
Still to this day.
I'm being a dude by saying that, but still.
Still to this day, she's a sexy.
I saw her at a con just a while ago. I'm like looking at her. I'm like, oh my God. I'm sorry again. Just being a dude. But she was so sweet, so personable, and we talked and stuff. And I'm like, wow. I didn't do that.
That's like when I met Tara Strong. And I didn't go to get I'm a fan of her, but I didn't go to meet her for me. Mm-hmm. I went for the little one. No. She is a big Raven fan, Bubbles fan, and she likes Harley Quinn. That was one of the sweetest moments ever. She took the time out, and I don't know, maybe because I was a guy, but she was like, she was asking me questions. Who is this for? I said, it's for my daughter. She was like, I was like, she's a big fan of your Raven character from Teen Titans Go. Oh, so she doesn't know about the other one. I'm like, no. She's a baby at the time. And she was like, oh, okay, here you go. And she was like, come on, let's take a picture so your daughter will know that I'm the one that does the character. I'm like, you don't have to, you want to pay, to get. She was like, no, don't worry about it. She said, if I'm here again, bring her. I was like, she's probably going to start coming in on Sunday. She was like, okay. She said, most likely I'll be here. So you got to bring her. I was like, all right, when they announce it, I'll make sure. And I like that interaction with the fans, you know what I'm saying? Because not all these celebrities understand that we're the ones that got you where you're at.
But it's not only that we got them where they're at, but a lot of their work helped shape us as adults. Because, if I look at Nathan Fillion, and I met him at Comic-Con.
Right.
And I told him, like, I'm a big fan. I said, my daughter introduced me to you, watching Firefly. And that was during the time when I was, dealing with my cancer, and I'm dealing with radiation therapy and all that. And, movies are a distraction. Yes, sometimes a very good distraction. And sometimes the stories that are told sometimes can ring true in what we're going through, or can help us just forget about what's going on at the moment, because sometimes it's a little too traumatic, like in my case, too traumatic to deal with. But hey, it was still a story that I loved it, and when it was over, I was like, what was I mad about, or what am I going through? And I just came back to it, and I told them, and it's like I said, she introduced me to you. You, in no particular way personally, but have, through your work, helped me through this very dark time by watching Firefly. And of course, I can't even begin to tell you about Castle. That was his other, and he looked at me, shook my hand, and she said, I'm glad she introduced you to it, and I'm glad you're still here with us.
Yeah.
Stad, I'm glad that you're still here with us. He's the nerd's nerd in any sense of the word, and I love any works that he's done, from Mr. Horrible. I was introduced to Mr. Horrible. Again, Firefly.
911.
Huh?
What is it, that TV show that he plays the cop?
Oh my God, The Rookie.
The Rookie, yes.
I love watching The Rookie. That was a total change for me. But watching The Rookie,
yeah.
And then of course, what was it? Not Firefly. What was the other one? Castle. Like 7 years of Castle. Did you know? And I didn't know this. I didn't know this until I read it, that both him and the co-star hated each other. Castle? Yeah, no. Hated each. Mira, una coraje que quería jacarse las ojos. That sort of, they hated each other, and I'm like, that can't be real, because they went from
in the first season.
Right, in the first season they get along, and then of course they elevated to the point where they had a romantic, connection, to the point where they got married, and I'm like, wait a second. Don't you hate this guy? You got to get up there and you got to kiss him.
But at the end of the day, you want to make that money.
True. I get
You
it.
gotta tolerate it.
I get it. It's true, but going back to our last episode when it came to Tom Holland,
Yeah.
when we were talking about who that person in the that was a body double, and that's because Zendaya's, said, no kissing, Sadie Sink, none of this crazy half nude or whatever stuff. And this was all before they got married.
But
and Tom respected that.
But there's another actor. I can't remember his name, but he always played the bad guy.
The white guy.
Yeah, the white guy. He got blue eyes, and he said, yo, I had to sell my house because my number one rule when I'm doing a film or a TV show was,
I know what you're talking about.
I cannot do it. I cannot do a sex scene.
Was he Damien Dark in
Yes.
Arrow series?
Yes.
I know who you're talking about.
Him, and I'm like,
yeah, he says these lips are not for
he's
only
like,
his
yo,
woman.
I'm married. This is how it goes,
Mhm.
whether you like it or not. And he stuck to his gun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you telling me my man had to sell his house because Hollywood
went blacklisted him for a long while.
Like that's
As a matter of
stupid.
fact, if I'm not mistaken, he
And he was in and I was watching this show called Yellowstone.
Yeah.
With what's his name? From The Bodyguard.
Neil McDowell.
There you go.
Neil McDowell.
Yes.
And if you get the app Angel Studios, he also started doing he's done some movies on that that I've thoroughly enjoyed.
He said he's a Christian, so
yeah, he's a Christian.
Yeah, he can't do it.
He doesn't do it.
Angel Studios takes Christian parables and stories, but they make it, how can I say, lifelike and compelling. And I remember getting a free ticket to go check out one of their films, and then after that, I got their app. Angel Studios, they did one that was an animated feature talking about the resurrection.
Yeah.
But it was done in such a way that, I was like, wow. Entertaining was not the word. I felt like, I felt something inside of me, something very personal.
And that brings back to, these B-rated movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to mention it again, Winnie the Pooh, blood. Like, movies like that is what makes watching a movie fun. Because you're curious. You're curious about it. You know how many sci-fi movies I've seen that was like, what in the hell?
Got one.
Okay?
I got one.
And one of them that sticks out, Revenge from Frogtown.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, watching it now, and I'm like, why did I like this movie?
Because it's a B film.
It's a B film.
It's a
like
B
one of my
film.
favorite, and I wouldn't even say it's a horror movie because it's horror sci-fi. Critters.
Huh. I got one for you.
I love that movie. Don't ask me why. I just love that movie.
Got one for you. Brace yourselves.
Which one?
Sharknado.
Oh my God.
So
1
funny.
through 6.
I was just talking about that this weekend with Raiden. I have not seen it.
You haven't seen Sharknado?
No.
Oh my
I
God.
have not seen it. And then we noticed that it had 3 parts.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Raiden was like, we gotta watch it.
More than 3. More than 3. I think I
Yeah.
would say 5 or 6 now.
Oh,
Sharknado's
okay. You
6.
see 3 parts there.
I remember because one of them featured one of the guys from Beverly Hills
Yeah,
90210.
Ian Ziering, something like that.
Ian Ziering, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And his career got revitalized by this B film. You just are surprised. You never know. For instance, there was a horror film, not so much horror, it was a horror action. It had its first film when it was like in the late, let's say late 70s, early 80s, and the movie was called Scanners. Had to deal
I love
with
that.
people who
I love that movie.
took that drug, right? And then it became telepaths and psychics or whatever. But it didn't do so well in the box office. But then went into B film, right? Then they brought out Scanners 2, The New Order. That was good. And then they branched out, and then a spinoff called Scanner Cop.
Yeah.
And Scanner Cop, literally, and
What about
no pun intended, blew my mind.
That's another one. Remember the Cube? And then they came out with Hypercube.
Oh God, what?
And it did amazing in DVD sales.
But it was a B film. Don't discount the B film. I'm going to say this right
I'll go
now.
even better. Maniac Cop.
Oh, what?
That was a crazy one.
Shut up. Maniac Cop was so
It
good.
did 2 parts.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. B films are low budgeted.
Yeah. You just
Right?
said it, and I already have the flashbacks of the cover. Dark face.
Exactly.
The cop hat.
Uh-huh.
Or one of the worst,
couldn't really
one of the
see.
worst B-rated movie that came out in theaters.
Yeah.
Lawnmower Man.
Actually, wait. It was actually a theater release.
That's what
Right?
I said. It was a theater release, went
And
straight to
then-
DVD.
But
it was
once when it became a B movie, it became like a cult following.
yeah.
That
There's a
movie.
cult.
There's like
there's
a second
cult
or a third one, I think it was.
I think it went up to 3.
3, and that one had a cult following and a half.
Yeah.
You just really don't know. And I'm telling you, these B films, don't discount them. Just because the and I have to say, sometimes when you look at the cover and you're just like, Maniac, what?
Yeah.
And you like look at the cover and you're just like, but guess what? There's always a part. It's like for some of us, that little thing inside you, you must possess it. You must watch this. Like for instance, there's this horror called Basket Case.
I've heard of it.
It has to deal with a twin, but the twin was undeveloped and became a part of him. And it was just one arm, big head. That's all it was, right? So one day they actually did a surgery and separated the two. And then he was in the basket half the time.
All right.
But when people mess with the kid, his brother, he'd get out of the basket and he starts killing people. And I'm like, dude,
This is why I love.
what?
This is why I love the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh yeah, they come up with some.
They have some wicked
B-rated stuff. Oh,
Sharkagator. There was one time I seen. I was like, what the?
Like some of the movies bypass, and then later on it gets like I was showing my co-host and a couple people sleeping with Rican. A lot of people never heard of that.
no.
But then when they watched it, they were like, "Yo, this was good! Like I didn't know who was killing."
Yeah.
You know? And then they knew who more or less was the killer.
Mm-hmm.
But the ending of the movie was not about who was killing. When you watch the end of the movie, you're like,
Yes.
"What the?"
Like as
And
far as like
That was
horror,
a B movie.
like horror movies that weren't so big, but the minute people our age remember
Ooh,
and hear it, they're like,
I
that's
got
in
one.
lines towards almost exorcism scary.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
it
I
was
remember that one.
Mulberry Street.
yeah. Mulberry Street was one.
Okay, I spent literally years looking for that on DVD, and I found it when Blockbuster was going
Out of
kaput.
business. Yeah.
And a friend of mine was the manager to Blockbuster. I'm like, yo, you guys got Mulberry Street? He was like, never heard of it. I said, yo, look it up. It's a horror movie. He was like, yo, I got one left. I said, save it. I want it. It's mine. I want it. And I watched it. I was like, what the hell was so scary about this?
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
like, what? Huh?
One in
But-
particular, I can't remember the name of it. But what I loved about this film, it had to deal with people trapped in a bar. And outside in the middle of the night, you know, these creatures that come out. Now, every character that gets introduced is like the minute they burst through the door or whatever, it's a pause. And then the guy says, hero, right?
Feast.
Feast. There you go.
I was just saying, right? That
Feast.
sounded like-
And he said he's supposed to save everyone. Life expectancy, not another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's it. It was it was funny. It was not, I wouldn't say scary. It was gory.
It was gory.
Gory.
It wasn't scary at all. I have both of them. And it was like,
But then the one
what the
that
hell
was
am I watching?
and then there was one that, and I forgot the name of it as well, it may hit you, is when five people, female I think, and they go, I forgot what they call it again, where they dive into a cave.
The Descent.
Bingo.
There's 2 of them.
Yes, they are.
I seen them.
But
both.
that
I
one
have
scene that was freaky is that they got the camera and they're focusing on this, and then they turn around and the dude's just like standing right behind. And I'm like, oh,
them. Yes.
you gotta love that. But thing is, if you put that in if that was really a theater release, that would have done good. It
The
would've
first
done
one
good.
was.
The first one was well, I didn't remember being a theater release. I know I saw
No,
it
it
on
was-
the video.
But you remember, as time went on, they started doing theater releases, but there was 2 tiers.
Ah, yes.
You had theaters that would release popular movies, and then you had theaters that would release
local
stuff.
Yeah, the local small ones. Like
Yeah.
there's this one on
Like for
14th
me,
Street. There's a small
no,
theater.
for me was Parkchester.
Oh.
Parkchester had this theater that there was a pizza shop right there in the corner.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
And then I'm gonna bring you back down the block was a Roy Rogers. And then if you go past, like you walk into the Macy's,
Mm-hmm.
on the corner, you would hit the Unos.
Uno's, yes. That was so good.
Yes.
So good.
And, you know.
How many times have you snuck in a pizza into that theater? Just be honest. Just say it. It's not like they're going to come after you for it. Just say it.
Well, I've
snuck down at least good 4 times.
I didn't have to sneak. I'm going to tell you why. One, I'm a big guy. I can't sneak. Second, the owner, I knew the owner personally.
Okay.
Me and his granddaughter were going to the same high school.
Not me. I would have this one little bag, and it was like, something you just carry over your shoulder. And they didn't bother ever asking me, but I would have 2 slices, all wrapped up real nice, extra cheese and sausage. And I'm sitting there. I would go to the concession stand for one thing, and that's my drink, my Coke. I gotta have the concession stand.
No, but I felt like a king because since me and the granddaughter were friends, and for me, every time I went to the movie was like a $5 Tuesday for me. Because me and a group of guys, we would go see every movie that came out on Friday. That was our thing.
Yeah, it's like the White Stones.
Yeah,
like the White Stones.
But it was, it only had 4 theaters, and that man, rest his soul if he's still around or if he's not, bless him. But he would look out for the locals. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
regulars, yeah, like
us. And I was like, this is
because they knew that we're keeping them operating, and you know what? We're not causing trouble. We're just loving the films,
and then sometimes I'll tell my boss, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go get the new video game coming out. I'm going to Radio Shack real quick.
Oh, Radio Shack.
That's where I got all my PC building materials. And
I
stuff
still
like
have what do you call it? It's the heaviest thing. It's like a brick, bro. But it's from Eye Candy.
Right.
And it's like a brick Bluetooth speakers. But let me tell you something. I say the word cocotazo. This is what we'll call a concussion tazo. This thing, I hit somebody with it, they're gonna have a concussion. They're out, laid out.
I'll tell you a funny story about Radio Shack. When me and my girlfriend first got our apartment together, our neighbors, we moved into a private house. The neighbors had kids, and I was like during the wintertime, I have to be at work at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, yo, please tone it down because the walls were thin. Yo, it was like literally 2-3 o'clock in the morning. They banging. I'm trying to sleep, and they're banging and banging. And my girl at the time, she was like, "Don't, they're kids." I said, "Yeah, but respectfully, I got to be up and work in a couple of hours." Like, I said, "What's all right? Don't wait." She was like, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "Nothing." Went to Radio Shack, and that's when the surround systems first started coming out. So I went and got the one with the most speakers and the subwoofer. So, okay, this is what we're going to do. Now, mind you, I had no car at the time, so I carried that big-ass box to Parkchester Circle, grabbed a cab, snuck it inside the house, popped open the PlayStation, Call of Duty, and put all the speakers and the subwoofers right down on the floor. Waited till they had company. Shooting everywhere. They was like, yo, can you lower it down? I said, nah. We're not doing that. They was like, it's kind of loud. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. That's a great story, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with that family now.
And with that, we're going to wrap up yet another edition of Rican Nothing. But we brought enough to let you know how much we love what we do and why we do it.
Plus, it brings back a lot of your memories if y'all our ages of how life was good back in the day.
Yeah, come on to our Facebook page and let us know everything if you have a story to tell with them.
And if you ever get thirsty and you want to keep it cold,
you got the
this little plug-in, get the flat, a little tumbler, goes a long way.
It goes a long way. So until the next time, I'm Easy Mo.
I'm Ivan.
Live long. Live long.
See you later.
Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix, lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick.